Hello and welcome to this bite-sized workshop on exam revision skills for science and maths undergraduate students. This session will cover strategies for learning, the growth zone model, useful online resources and revision exam techniques. So let's first look at the 5 strategies for learning and revising. First up is being effective by organising your time, resources and priorities. Next is motivation and being clear about what you want to achieve and how you go about achieving it. Third is being active, and that means actively engaging in solving problems and answering questions. Next is reflecting on your performance. This is a really powerful tool for personal growth. To evaluate your performance, ask yourself, how are you doing? What could have gone better? What can you do to improve? And then draw lessons from it. Finally, it's important to be confident, as this can significantly improve your academic performance. For more detail, go to the Study Skills bite-sized video at the link in the description. Let's focus on be confident, as this can significantly boost your performance. Employ creativity and imagination during study and revision, and try to make links between various topics. Most importantly, maintain a positive attitude and remember that any challenges you face in your studies are only temporary. Applying the 5 strategies together with a positive mindset when revising and studying will certainly enhance your performance. The growth zone model is a framework that will help you understand where you are with regard to your learning. The comfort zone is in green, and this is where you feel confident and work on familiar tasks. The growth zone in yellow is where new learning takes place. You may get stuck, you may find it challenging, and you may make mistakes. The panic zone is in red, and in this zone it is really difficult to learn as anxiety may be overwhelming. Find ways to reduce the anxiety by either moving back into the growth or comfort zone, or take a break and use ways that work for you to reduce your stress and anxiety. This interactive model shows that the aim is to grow the comfort area in green. So we have covered some general study strategies, and now we're going to look at what you need to do to revise effectively. There's a lot of useful information on the time management guide. The link is in the description, subject-guides.york.ac.uk/being-organise/time-management. The first stage is to make a revision timetable or weekly planner with slots for revision, study, work, social life, sport and other activities. There are plenty of study guides available on the time management subject guide and putting together a weekly or monthly plan. The next stage is to gather together all the relevant resources that you may require for revision, including your textbooks, lecture notes, study notes, problem class questions and answers, exam papers and other key resources. It may be useful to create your own crib sheet, including key formulas, theorems and proofs, definitions, examples and hints and tips. Once you've collected the relevant resources, now's the time of focusing on mastering the techniques by working through example problems and checking answers. As per this key strategy, it's important to be active and actually work through problems line by line, writing what is required deep down. To consolidate and deepen your understanding, try explaining and teaching this topic to others. Make notes of anything you do not understand and ask the relevant questions to tutors, your lecturers, seminar leaders, and also other classmates. So in terms of revision techniques, here are 3 methods that may be useful for you to use to structure your revision: interleaving, spaced repetition, and varied practice. And it's useful to employ all 3 during your study and revision period. We will go through them in more detail in the next few slides. Let's look at interleaving first, and that involves alternating between different topics during revision by creating practice sets that include a mix of different problems. In this example, on the first run through, topics are revised in the order A, B, C, D. And then in the second run, they're mixed up and revised in the order B, C, A, D. The benefits of this interleaving method include improved retention, faster learning, and more flexible understanding. Another useful method is spaced repetition, and this entails revisiting topics at increasing intervals over time. Topic A is studied on day 1, and then after a gap of a day, studied again. This topic is repeated 3 days later, and then with a gap of 6 days, and then 10 days. These are example intervals depending on the length of your revision plan. Again, you can create practice sets of questions that include a mix of different problems. The proven benefits of this spaced repetition method include reinforced learning and improved long-term retention. Another technique is varied practice, and this means practicing different problem types during a revision session. For example, in this example, A, B, C, D are revised together, and as per previous techniques, you could mix up the order. This method prompts the brain to work harder, enhancing overall learning, and also improves problem-solving skills. In summary, here are 3 methods to weave into your revision schedule: interleaving, spaced repetition, and varied practice. There are other techniques that you can employ, including active recall, mind mapping, Feynman technique. All these methods are detailed on the study skills link in the description below, and it's important to find the method that works best for you. With exams, it's really important to practice your exam technique beforehand. Start with working out how many minutes you have per question and how many minutes per mark. Practice answering the questions in exam conditions and time yourself. Read the exam paper first so that you can start with the easier questions. Read the question and read it again. Write down your working out and your method and all the processes and theorems that are relevant. Make sure you keep an eye on the time, and if you are stuck, move on to the next question and make sure you leave yourself some time to check the answers. It's really important to avoid these common exam pitfalls. Do not spend too much time on one question. And also, it's not necessarily to answer the questions in exam order, in number order, as long as you clearly number your answer. Don't just answer the questions you revised. There may be other things that you can remember about the questions, and make sure that you check your answers at the end of the paper. And it's important for these last 2, don't pad your answer. Take note of the mark scheme and don't employ the kitchen sink where you just answer everything you know about a particular topic. It's really important to make it easy to mark. Don't worry about the question or the maths here. It's just an example of a 4-mark question and how would it be laid out. So lay it out in a logical order. So define any symbols, and exam markers are looking to give you the maximum marks. So make sure that you make it easy to mark. Define any symbols or equations or formulas that you use, and remember to use the words as well as symbols and write clearly. So as you see in this example here, again, don't worry about the maths. You can see there's 4 clearly laid lines of maths written there answering the question that's given. Use diagrams. So this particular diagram was taken from a problem about orbit of satellites. But when you draw the diagram out and write down the rules, you can solve it by finding the area of the shaded triangle. So it's a nice example of diagrams making things easier to understand. And also it will help the marker understand what you're doing as well. So label them clearly to show how it relates to the question. It's always really important to sense check your answers. So check your units and check the decimal places and the scale of the answer. So for example, what does your answer look like? What do the graphs look like? Use something to help you. And does the answer make physical sense? So check it as well and make sure that the marker knows what you're actually answering. So in terms of online resources, these additional resources are available in the description and include on the online resource guide, effective revision, tips to combat exam stress, top tips for revision, the skills guide, academic writing, and the Math Skills Centre. So spring into action now, make sure that you are active, collaborate with others. I think it's really important to reflect on what is and isn't working. Take breaks and reward yourself. Take care of yourself. So in summary, start now. Build yourself a revision plan. Get organised. Make sure that you're practicing the right questions. If you get stuck, ask good questions. Collaborate with others. Take a break and reward yourself. Take care of yourself. Be active.